Menteri rangba kejela ukanrat ki sangma ulong bakaladan kam bandan ki jaka sandur ye ki samla ki bala ngop ha jingdi basniu kenang ban penwan dorbiang ya ke jingim jeki. Menteri rangba ulong ya kini ha jingkran pili ya ke First National Conference bala pelong da ke Woodland Institute of Nursing Shillong ringkat ke jingin trelang baga St. Anthony's College Long bala yo na ke scheme Chief Minister Youth Development Scheme halor kapang ke jing sniu jang ke jingdi penbuan ke bawanra ya ke jing sniu ya ke samla hakani ke jingelang lai don lang do ba Richard B Yuria principal ke North Liberty Higher Secondary School Dr. W Kharshiing managing director ke Woodland Institute of Nursing brother A Dakar principal ke St. Anthony's College bar ki samla puli nurse ya kani ke jingathil la pelong ban mai phang ya ke jinge ki bala mi na ke jingdi penbua ya ke samla ha ke jingkren ha kani ke jingathil Ukonrad ulayaro ya ke Woodland Institute of Nursing ke bala pelong ya kani ke program ke badan kampa na ke benta ban ai ke jingshai bar ke jingsong thu ya ke samla ban light na ke jingsha pengop ha ke jingdi basniu ulong ba omla banyakun ya kani ke thama ke jingsniu tang na ke basu penmi ya ke kendon an hendai ke Donkam ya ke jingentre jom baro ha ke mlang salang nadu ki riusan perthei ki doktor ki nohikai ki samla kenthei bat chandang ulong bakalawai ke jela ke dan ha ke jing sandur ye ki samla namar bak sarkar ke chutau ye ki polisi ki program hendai ke bakut kolong bade ki samla ki banlong kalawai jong kari ha kini ke sngi ukanrat ula pelait ru ye ke kwat sa kan mau ke Woodland Institute of Nursing ke bakerteng mau mer ke jing job ha kini ke jing athir lawan ban simentaru de ki start bakantop ye ke kong JGCM program coordinator ke Nen Shlong ba Vivek CM SP West Gentia Hills Dubai ba H. Morman, A.K. Roy, psychiatric, social worker, Nazareth Hospital Shillong, bat Kokong P. Chakravarti, professor cum principal, International College of Nursing, Assam.
Drug addiction causes immense human distress and the illegal production and distribution of drugs have increased the incidence of crime and violence worldwide. Just last week, on June 26, every year is being celebrated as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. It is an exercise undertaken by the world community to sensitize the people in general and the youth in particular to the menace of drugs.
And do not make necessary policy measures and do not create the necessary awareness among our youth, we could be looking at real serious situation which might be irreversible at a point. And I think this is the correct time for us to really come together, whether it is the health sector, the politicians as was mentioned, the society in general, academicians, all of us I think need to come together to be able to find some kind of way forward to improve the current situation that we are facing and to see a change in what we are seeing right now. We are in a position where we can maybe facilitate the different kind of ideas, programs or actions that will be taken. But ultimately the energy that is in you, the youth of our nation, is going to determine the future and the kind of outcome that our nation faces. And I think this is really what is the most challenging thing for a country like ours, the youngest nation in the world. And if you look at this particular issue of substance abuse and suicide, this has got the capacity to really channelize the energy in all the wrong ways that you can imagine. And if that were to happen, I think India is already finished before it even starts. And this is what we learn from even countries like China. We've been studying the economy of China and we've been seeing how they grew as an economy and we've been seeing what they did wrong. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest challenges that China faced at one point, and this is something that they themselves admit, that they did not skill their people in the right manner. Yes, they went into a lot of manufacturing and all these kind of things, but they did not really give that innovation. They didn't give the kind of necessary skills which could have maybe increased the economy of China and the growth of economy, growth of the of the nation in many, many different ways. Go into the details of what was already said by Dr. Khashian and Mr. Yuria. I think the points that were mentioned were very, very clear. And I think ultimately, we were all youth at one point. We have all gone through a phase where we have seen so many things in life. And yes, I think it's so critical to understand that a young mind goes through many, many challenges, many, many different thoughts, many difficulties, many difficult decisions that you have to make. And yes, a lot of expectation, as all these points have been mentioned by our principal also, and also by the keynote address that was given by Dr. Kashi. And I think it is very critical for us to ensure that the stress and the difficulties that you face as a young generation, there must be a support system to ensure that whenever these kind of challenges you're facing, there is always a support system to ensure that guides you into the right areas. We cannot fight this battle by simply stopping the flow of different substances or different drugs into our nation, into our state. I think I was seeing an article a few days back about, I think the SP was mentioning, the SP of East Khasi was mentioning that Meghalaya is becoming one of the largest, kind of stocks, and the transport of different kind of drugs is increasing into our state of Meghalaya, and also going, passing through Meghalaya. We are also in a part of the world where we have a lot of drugs and different kind of substances that are being transported in this region, and this region is becoming like a gateway. So we know that these challenges are there, and therefore simply by having policies to only block these things and having all the checks and all the measures to stop it is important, but will not be enough. I know that physical health is also very important, we need to, but we do not have many policies, we do not have many facilities. If you look at the PHCs and the CHCs and different hospitals, we do not have enough psychiatrists, we don't have different kind of counseling for the children, for the youth especially. And I think it's important that from a government perspective, that these kind of counseling centers and counseling clinics, I think need to be looked into. And I think as a government, maybe that would be something that would be interesting for us to work on. And definitely I would discuss this. And as I said, today, after listening to two wonderful speeches, it has really made me realize also how important it is and how urgent it is for us to really take some steps to ensure that we curb this particular issue and problem at the earliest.